Didn't realize how low I'd be. There we go. We in the signature pope, and we do what we do, and we have fun while we do what we do. Welcome to another fantastic live with your boy, Jocquill. Je ne parle pas français. And we are here at the Shift in Perspective, where the overall concept is to just focus on what improves our health, our wealth, and our energy. Through every one of those working together, we do great things. We have fun doing what we do, and we allow ourselves for more perspective to grow. So you are tuned in live, baby, to it, because this is what we do, and this is how we do it best. Got that Pure Life water on deck, hydrate, refreshing, super clear. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a good, if you're a water drinker, you can kind of taste like the difference of it. And Pure Life has actually been like really good. Like honestly, some water they'll leave you with that like dry taste. It's like, how am I drinking water? And yeah, I'm still dehydrated. Like, what is going on? Big shout outs to Pure Life. They gonna give me a little. We gonna get somebody gonna want to sponsor. Look at that. Look at me. Pure Life, hydrated. Pure lies, minerals. I didn't get the script. Okay. No excuses. Only adjustments. All right. So anyway, let's get into it. The topic at hand: no excuses, only adjustments. Now look, inconvenience happens. We talk about it regularly when it comes to the fact of something coming out of nowhere, interrupting your day, throwing off the vibes, to where you can't now focus on what you were going for. And yes, it happens. It happens at the worst times. It happens at the best times. But inconvenience exists. And that's why it's all about the adjustments, right? You don't say, I'm late for work because of traffic. You adjust what time you leave your house, knowing that traffic's going to be in the way. We talk about this regularly, right? So that way, when we allow ourselves to understand the whole concept of why we're attempting to make the excuse, we focus more on the adjustment of never letting it happen again. That's the whole purpose of it, to where when you allow yourself to not be so consumed by what's happening versus what needs to happen, then you shoot in a different direction. And that's why the topic is no excuses, only adjustments. Like, things happen, and that's okay. Like, that's the concepts of life. Like, things come, things go, things happen, things don't. But it's all due to the perspective mindset of what you decide to do in it. When you allow yourself to focus in on what needs to be done, then that's when you let yourself grow in more immense ways that allows you to further exceed what you wanted to do and the expectation of what was going to happen. That's the simplistic form of it, right? That's like, that's the easier said than done, right? However, I don't believe that. I don't believe that it's always easier said than done. I think it truly just takes a little bit of the action, right? We talk about it regularly. It's like when you work out. Like, you don't just go and pick up a 50-pound and just like start going in. No. Especially if you've never lifted weights before, or it's been a long period of time since you have. You build up, right? You start with some 10s, you realize that you got it, and then you grab you a 30, you grab you a 40, and then you really just build yourself up to the 50, and then you realize you kind of go past it, you grab the 60s, and then you up at 100. Like, it's all about that progression level of where you decide you want to grow from it. And that's the important part, because that ties in to the no excuse. Your excuse isn't the fact that the excuse is, oh, I can't lift a 50-pound weight because I've never lifted a 50-pound weight. No, you change it to the adjustment of you knowing that, all right, cool, I'm not about to just go and throw my back out attempting to lift a 50-pound weight. I'm going to go and I'm going to adjust myself. I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to build myself up to a point to where I can get to that 50-pound weight. It's the same with push-ups. Like you hear people say, oh, I can't even do one push-up and everything. Like, well, that just starts with the 5 knee push-ups. And then that just continues on to doing 5 regular push-ups. Like, it's all about the progression of it, and allowing yourself to progress in a further way and in a certain manner lets you realize more things. This is why the perspective is so important. Like, you don't go, oh, that didn't work out. No, you don't go, oh, I've never done that before, so I've just never tried it, and then never do it. No, you kind of dip your toe in the water. You kind of realize, like, the stove is hot. Like, like there's like ways of like really finding out to do something without actually having to like throw yourself in the fire, right? So you don't have to take it so literal, right? It doesn't need to be such a locked in concept of going, all right, like, do or don't, figure out what the direction is and allow yourself to be like, all right, cool, this is something that I've never done, so let me kind of see, let me think about like how these things can work out, and then maybe I can do something with it and then put it together. Then that's when you get into your like, all right, I'm gonna do this, or I'm not gonna do it. Like, that's when you get it. You never make the excuse of it not ever happening, so it's never been done. No, that's not what we do, because then that's just only you not taking any responsibility for how your life goes. A lot of people have this whole concept of like control and whatnot, like what they have control over, what they don't have control over, like. And you see that often, right? You see a lot of people in a motion of wanting to control something that obviously can't be helped, right? It's like, I call it a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, right? Like, you get shot and you want to put a Band-Aid on it. No, we gonna need a lot more than a Band-Aid. So allowing yourself to adjust to what's going on all plays a part in not making that excuse, right? You don't, like I said, you don't make the excuse that I'm late for work because of traffic. No, you leave home earlier. Like, there are times where like you can be on your way to work and you realize that you're 10 minutes away from your work, but you don't got to clock in till another 35 minutes. Now you can adjust your day because now it doesn't have to be so prioritized by work. You didn't have to leave your house 30 minutes early to get to work like 20 minutes early just to stress about being work. No, now you go get your coffee, go get you some lunch. You didn't put those vitamins in you, and there's a store right there. Go grab you an apple and banana or whatnot, and then support your system while you get ready to do what you do. And over the course, this is what they always talk about. Over the course, you get to that point to where it starts to become natural. You start to want to leave early for work because now you're ready to get to the store. And you ready to get those vitamins in you, and then because you realize the last time you went to the store, this is how it works, right? This is how their system works. Like, we were talking about this last week when it comes to like that reward system, right? This reward system. You leave for work early. You leave home, you go to work earlier. Then you get to work and you're there a lot earlier than what you need to be. So then you get some good vitamins in your system. Like, you go get you an apple, you go get you a banana, like you do something for your body. And then you go to work. Surprisingly, you're not fatigued. I say surprisingly because I'm being sarcastic. I'm usually too real to be sarcastic, but surprisingly, because you ate an apple or banana, you're on your work and you don't feel so fatigued, and like you actually feel good. You were able to kind of clock in. Like, that's still that 5 minutes early. Like, see, in the restaurant industry, it's like, you get there 5 minutes early. Add the little 5 minutes, the little 5 minutes gonna compound. What you talking about? You got 4 shifts, 5 minutes, extra 20 hours, extra 40 hours, extra 40 hours, extra 40 minutes on top of what you get every week. Come on now, like, it adds up. So Now you're like clocked in earlier. You're able to kind of like, you're kind of able to adjust. Like you set up a few things. You was able to get to your task a little bit earlier, so it sent the structure of your day a little bit smoother. And then next thing you know, you clock out, and then you go home, and then people ask, you go in those, you go home, you go talk to your brother, cousin, sister, mama, and then they're like, oh, how was your day? And you go, it was really nice. And that's why I use the surprisingly, because that's the system. You do what needs to be done. You allow yourself to feel good while you're doing it. And then they all tie into each other. So you allow yourself to get to your responsibility a lot earlier. You get to work a lot earlier. So now with that, you realize it's not much of a rush. There's a big difference between you clocking in 5 minutes before you're supposed to clock in and clocking in right on time. Because look, I can really only put it in a restaurant aspect, because that's just like my major background. But there's a difference between you coming into the shift 5 minutes before your shift, 10 minutes before your shift to see. Now, and we're talking about transition shifts, right? We're not talking about I don't really know office and corporate jobs and whatnot like that, but I understand I like the break in increments work and everything like that. In the restaurant industry, it works entirely different. Like if the restaurant open at 11, then it's those opening servers, the 11 to 4 o'clock servers that are going to be the ones that are there. So if you're a 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. server and you get there before, you are able to kind of see what the day was like, right? You get there, there ain't no ice in the machine, there's no cups stocked, there's no boxes stocked. Like that means it was a lot going on. So then with you being there before your time, right? Your section, sometimes you get there, your section is completely clean. Nobody sat in it all day. And you're like, all right, cool. Sometimes you get there and your section is slammed. Your section is completely full. So you're looking at it like, all right, so I gotta probably help them clean up if I want to start making my money, right? So then what you do is now you're here 5 minutes, 10 minutes before that you were supposed to be. You can see all this. You can realize oh damn, I'm gonna need to get cups. Oh shit, I need to restock boxes and everything. Of course, it's their responsibility to do it because they were the one that ran through it. However, team effort. We're in it to win it. We're here already. We can do something. So allowing yourself to take that time to realize that before it needs to clock in allows you to get into a better groove, right? You start handling it it's probably as much as you don't even want to do that much. You came in, you want to make your brand, now you gotta do extra stuff. That's okay. But now you're prepared for it. Now you get to put yourself in a better environment versus you coming in right at 4 o'clock, clocking in. You just pulled up into the parking lot for 3:59. You grab your apron, grab your lipstick, grab your pens, checkbooks and everything. Get out the car. Oh shit, bottle opener. Got to go back, grab the bottle opener and whatnot, just for you to come in and then scrambling. You clock in. It's 4:01. You clock in and the restaurant. If you clock in after 5 minutes after the time, you can't clock in. So now you got to go talk to the manager to get you to clock in. Now we know you late. So now you clocked in 4:01. You're like, oh man, all right, really. Now you getting all together and whatnot, and you got the pins and your bottle opener, and then you look around, you're like, oh damn, there's no cups, there's no boxes, there's no, oh, my section's a mess, oh god. So now you're still going, and you're getting ice and scrambling, you got boxes, you want to help out because you got to get ready. And then in the entire time you get there, you've just been in this fiddle, you've just been in this mode of just got to do, because there was never that separation time. Let me tell you all a fun little story or whatnot. And this actually ties into why I even started my YouTube channel, right? So I used to work this one job. It was a little bistro, and it was a really nice place. And how I just explained it, opening servers, 10:30 to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then the PM servers come in, they start doing their stuff, and then we get ready for night, right? So if you're working a double, you take your break. You take your break when everything dies down. You got pop lunch at 12, 1 o'clock. Everybody's ordering lunch, stuff and it dies down 3, 4 o'clock and whatnot. You get reset, cleaned up. So when you're working a double, like, you'll be working a double, and then you take your little break, you take you go on lunch, you take your like I can't remember if it was always like a 30 minute or an hour. Like it was always like 30 minutes to an hour. Like so then you go home, you can like if you live close, you can go home, pop around, whatnot. So I lived pretty close. So I would, kind of just go home. Like, right, it's break, I'd just shoot to the crib, like, unbutton my shirt and whatnot, take off the shirt and whatnot, and just sit, write a little bit, read maybe, sit back, do nothing, eat, whatever, right? Then get back to work, got the shirt back on, whatnot, get back to work and whatnot, cock in, get ready for the night, right? So that was kind of like, like what I would do if I was working a double. And I was working with this guy named Jason. And it was like a great guy and whatnot. And he would always talk about how he worked straight through, right? He would always like, work the lunch and then like immediately start setting up for dinner and whatnot. So then I was just kind of like, talking about like how I just explained it to you all. Like I was just like, hey, yo, no, like, sometimes on my 30 minutes, like if I got the 30 minutes and I'm able to really get my like get the full 30 minutes or get the full hour, then like I'll just literally like, get my cash out done and then go home and then like, take off my shirt and whatnot, get out of the uniform for a minute. And then even if it's for like 10 minutes, and put it back on and whatnot, maybe I want to change. Maybe it was like a crazy lunch and I want to be able to like reset entirely. So then like, I change entirely. So then like, then I come back and so I was just kind of explaining it to him like that. And he was just like, we were just talking. It was just conversation. Like, he's like, because he was talking about how like he just worked straight through, and I was like, man, I don't be working straight through like that. Like, if I can have the opportunity, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna like write a little bit. I'm gonna read. I'll probably take a nap. I probably don't take a nap. You never want to take a nap when you gotta wake back up to go right back and go serve the people. Like, because you just do not want to be sleepy. It's not the best kind of energy you got when you jump in your money. So, so I was just talking to him like that. So then like. Like a few days or something passed, and I come into work. It's just one of my single shifts. I come in at 4 p.m. and he wasn't there. He usually works a double this day, but he wasn't there. And then he comes in, like mind you, I'm probably just clocked in, probably been on the shift for like 10 minutes, and then he comes in from his break, and he comes in lit, like not like the. Like how the kids say, like, oh, we're lit. I'm talking about like he came in like lively, like came in bright, came in like, and he came up to me and like he was just like super excited. He was just super excited. He walks up to me. I'm just kind of like there, I'm on the tablet and stuff like that. I'm just getting ready and whatnot. And he walks up to me and he's like, Jocquill, man, look. I was like, what's up, Jason? He was like, dude, so I had my break, right? And I told him I wanted to go home. Like I wanted to go home from my break. Like he was talking about something like they were like, oh, do you want to stay or do you want to go for your break? He was like, I want to go. So he was telling me about how like the lunch shift ended. He went on break. He went to the house and he just laid down. He took off his uniform and he took a nap. And then he comes back. And this is him coming back to work. When I'm here now, he comes back and he tells me, he's like, I feel so much better. I'm actually kind of ready for it. We're in the industry of the people, right? So we want to take care of the people. But as we all know, people can be a little bit much to deal with. So like, we don't always want to deal with the people. But like, he comes in and he's like, man, I went home, just took off my uniform, took a nap, got back up. And I just feel so much more refreshed now. I feel so ready to just deal with these people. And I was like, there you go. Ahí tienes. Like, do your thing, hermano. Like, that's what we're talking about. And like, you can just tell. You can just like kind of see it in his face. Like that he was just like, yeah, man, like I'm ready for it. Like, throughout the shift, like it was rocking. He was rolling. Because usually, like you got those people you work with sometimes that like when it goes wrong for the rest of the night. Doesn't matter when it starts. If it goes wrong right when dinner starts at 6 o'clock, it's going to be wrong all night. If it's wrong right when the last table, it's going to be wrong all through the closing. So like, I wouldn't say like he was like a negative guy, but I would say like, things would always happen, right? And things always happen. That's the point. Things always happen. It's just best for you to understand how you feel when they're happening. That way you make the best decisions and you get the best outcomes after they settle. That's just the whole point. So talking to him, like when he was telling me this, I was like, oh damn. Like, like I wasn't telling him like, hey bro, you should like go and follow this routine. I was just talking to him about what I normally do in my life. I'm like, bro, if I got the opportunity, then I'm gonna just go to the crib. I'm gonna just sit on the couch. Kind of just be like, man, that was fun lunch, made me a little bit of money, right? All right, I do it. And then I'm gonna get up and then I'm gonna get dressed and then get right back at it. Because even that one little moment of just like separation from it can allow you to have a little bit more clear thoughts. That's why they're always like, oh, take a step back, breathe and whatnot. Because they literally mean it. They literally mean like when you're right in something and it's happening, take the furthest step back you can and literally see it in a hole, breathe, and be like, wait a minute. Why do I feel like this? Like, why do I care so strongly about something that's affecting me that makes me almost want to smack the out of that person? Almost makes me want to cuss everybody out in here. Almost, whoa. Why does any of that need to happen? Why do we need to experience? So you know what? Hold on. None of those things need to happen. I'm actually okay. This isn't nothing that's going to affect me. And once you can get to that resolve, it's definitely difficult. I won't say it's impossible. I'm not going to say it's hard, but I will say that it is difficult to catch it. Like to be able to go, ha! It's a very big concept that if you're able to just catch it, like, and yes, you don't catch it fast. You don't catch it every time. However, if you're able to, like, say it happens, right? Say you make a decision, it wasn't the best decision, and it happens, right? Do it faster. Like, it happened this day, the next day, I made the resolve that I'm not going to do things like that. Like, it just doesn't work for me. Like, it's just that one, do it as quick as you can, because the faster you can learn that this is something that I can adjust versus living with the excuse of why you still participate, like how you participate because of what happened to you 2 days, 3 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago. If you can get out of that mindset of that excuse on why you do, then you slowly start to do the work that actually matters. And that transition point is like one of the most solid feelings in the world, because it's just all of this clarity just rushing in. Like, it's not explosive, but it does feel so, it's like a waterfall that just of just like clarity, and you just didn't realize where it was because you were just on the other side of the terrain. And now you've taken some time, you walked through, you've explored a little bit, you grasped some concept, you've seen something that made you want to go further towards this way, and then you run into this waterfall of just pure, like you hear it so clearly, the water is crashing, the rocks are just glistening, and you just understand that, oh, this has been here this whole time, flowing and going and whatnot, and I finally discovered the concept of how I can use it in my best benefits. Look, I say it. Who am I? I'm just some dude who decided to turn on his live with a subject and topic that you don't even know. Like, you see, I don't know what you really see on the end when you go scrolling, or if you like come past the live and you see it. Like, but I don't, like, my name isn't even on there anywhere. Like, I can't even see, like, who is this guy? Who is he? Who is this guy? Sin embargo, if you ask me, if you're here talking with me, then I'm going to say it like this. That's the point. That's the point of it. It's for you to take the time to walk through and explore and then kind of see something and then you're like, what was that? And then you go and then you realize like, oh man, that was something. And then you look around, you're like, whoa, this is something even more. And then you discover the waterfall of what can be done and how it can flow and how it can impact your life as much as it can do anyone's life. And then now you realize like, oh, I can't do this because it's I, I don't look. Trust me. I don't know what it is myself. Like I ask myself all the time. I'm like, what the like what's going on? Like, but at the end of the day, we'll just put the science behind it. The science is that there's these universal principles that act on vibration, right? There's the old Western tales of like rocks moving by themselves. So, like they would, ride the rocks. There's a really funny SpongeBob episode on it if you watch SpongeBob or anything. Like they drive the rock and whatnot. like, but these rocks, there would be this trail from just these regular rocks in the desert, and there would be this trail of it just going, just as a trail following the rock. And no one was ever like pushing a rock or anything. The vibrational pull on the earth as the world like just spins as slowly as it does, the vibrational pull moves the rock as the world spins. It just moves. So it gives the impression that the rock has just been moving this whole time. The reality is it's the vibration shifting under the rock that's making it seem like it's moving. So there's all of these kind of universal principles that, humans are just now discovering that allow us to understand that our logical consciousness thinks about a situation and goes, stress factors. Like I'm talking about all of these stress factors go off in your brain, like these warning signs, all of these things let you know that you don't like what's going on right now. So then that leads to emotional thought process of how it's going. And then it brings in reactions of what you do. So now you're not operating on a conscious level. You're just reacting to what your consciousness can't understand. Like things aren't as serious as they are. You're not in immediate danger when some of these scenarios happen, but your brain can't tell the difference between a problem and the actual thing that can hurt you. Like your brain just knows that something ain't right, we ain't good, like we don't like it. Making an abundance of income and riches that come in handy daily. You see money, you see that hand, hit you for that money, put that in my pocket. Like, but outside of that, your brain just is letting you know, like, not right, not good, nope, we don't like it. So with that focus on you being able to understand that, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I don't like this because of the fact that it makes me like think about how I felt last time something like this happened to me. And honestly, I'm just not gonna deal with it this time. I'm gonna be better because like it just won't make me feel good. And then you separate yourself. Like that's what those warnings or those sensory directories and that's what they're there for. To help you out with a certain scenario that goes, all right, well, wait a minute, this is not good and this is not helping, but it's not letting you know that for you to keep feeling that way. It's letting you know that because it wants to not feel that way. We just so logical and conscious about how we feel that instead of going like, ow, this is hurting, like, let me move, we go, oh, this is hurting. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, the pain. Oh, the struck. Oh, never again. Oh, my life. Oh, like, we get way too caught in it. And that part just doesn't serve any benefit to anyone or anything. So then it takes you to go, oh no, oh, don't like that. Don't want to do that again. Let me just move that. Let me just, let me adjust around that pain, because it's like, whether you ready for it or you not, like, something's gonna happen. Like, inconvenience are gonna arrive. They can be small, they can be big, they can come out of nowhere, they can be right in front of you, and yet it's still gonna happen. It's all about your perspective of what you decide to do about why it's happening. Like, this is what happens. This is what people do. Scenario occurs, throws off person. Person is stressed, person is irritated, person can't figure it out. Person A goes to person B, describes the same scenario. Person B goes, oh my gosh, oh, things like that. And then next thing you know, person B goes to C, and then next thing you know, it just continues on. That's what happens. So instead of being the one that goes and, oh, this, oh, that, be the one that goes, this and that. I thought about vacío, like word, like nothing, can't touch, and then you're still gonna get it, right? This is what happens too. Versus you playing the sympathy card or letting people give you the you take control of what's happening in your life. You take yeah, that should hurt, but hey, it didn't hurt as much as it hurt me. Like last time that I was in, I'm in this. Like, I came for the fight, so I was expecting it to hurt. Like, it gives you a different sense of what you're doing about it versus why it's happening. Because things are gonna happen. That's the point. Like, it's just best to be in the mindset of knowing that, like, all right, nothing's gonna stop me. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 20 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds. I'm gonna lift it. I'm gonna get there. Like, it won't stop me from achieving what I can do, because then I'm gonna get to where I'm going. So that's the inverse. Like, you go and you let it be known. You take control. You go, oh man, that stuff, like, man, yeah, hurt like a mug. Like, man, slight work. Like, man, watch, look, because then if it can't touch you, then it can't touch you. If you don't allow it to give you the intensity of stress or the thought process of why it's happening, then you don't feed it. You don't feed those fears. You don't feed those anxieties. You don't feed those reasons. You don't feed those excuses to not be better. Because as we talk about it regularly, excuses builds nothing. Excuses are like dust. And always just excuses. However, responsibility is like bricks. You take your responsibility, like, I'm responsible for this, and you stack and you build, and then you let it grow. You let it come to something that you would have never been able to think possible without the structure and concept and thought process of how you're going to do it. And that's why it's important, because you got a lot of people out here that don't know. Like, and it's the simple things, right? Like, you pray for the rain, you deal with the mud too. Most people will pray for the rain and slip in the mud and ruin their dress. Most people would pray for I just really want this to happen. Oh, please, like, oh my gosh, oh. And then next thing you know, comes right in, and then it ends up tripping you because you weren't stable enough. You was asking for balance. You was asking for some kind of structure, and then it came and it swept you off your feet. And then now you've fallen, and now you're over here like, oh, why? That's not what I want. But in reality, that's what you asked for. You asked for balance. You asked for structure. So it came out of nowhere and completely knocked you off your shit. And now you're on the ground because that's what you asked for. You asked to learn for the balance. You asked to learn for the structure. So now guess what? When some shit come out of nowhere again, you right over it. you understand that, what was this thing? Like, because now you have that balance, now you have the structure. And what we do is we ask for it, we beg for it, we say that if we get it, then we'll do this, and no. And then what happens is it doesn't give it how we ask for it. It comes how we deserve to have it. So you don't just ask for, oh my gosh, and then you look around. No, you ask for it, then it comes when the time is meant for you to have it. And then a lot of what people do is they forget the blessings that they ask for. Like, there are things that you're asking for, but there are things you have now. I'm no stranger to this. Like, we talk about it all the time. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. You still can understand where you've come from. Like, you didn't came from you didn't came from here, and now you're here, and you want to be here. The thing is, before you get here, being here, you understand what here felt like. So what happens is people go through these levels. You're down here, you want to be here, you get here, now you just want to be here, then you get there, but then you forget about where you were and how it started. You forget that fire, you forget that hunger, and then when you get there, you get complacent. And then guess what happens when you get here and you get complacent? Whoop, right back down. And now you're left back wondering what happened. Like, you just got from here, now you're here, you got there, and then now you're back down here, and you're wondering, like, what's going on? When it's just due to the fact of before you got here, you forgot how you got here. That's the point. Like, you understand that you grow. Look, I love using this example because it's the only thing that can kind of make sense, because, people are always going to go, oh, but back when, or, oh, now people got, oh, no. There we go. Look, see, this is why this is so perfect. Because every race of people have their rich and their poor. And every time frame of the world, 2026, 2018, 2000, 1960, 1800, 1600, 87 BC, like, every period in time has also had its downfalls, its crutches, its inconveniences. And yet, throughout every course of point in history, and throughout every race in history, there have been people at certain calibers doing the same thing across each one of them. So it would stand to show that it's not about where you come from. It's not about the time period. It's just simply about what you do. So if you do some more, then you get a lot more. And guess what you got to do to get a lot more? You got to do something now. Guess what you got to do now to understand what you can do? Remember how you got it done before. You don't just move through life. Like, for a long time going through school, I thought I wasn't doing nothing. I was like, yeah, I keep moving through grades and but like through the course of the year of that year, all the information that was given, there's some tests at the end of the year. There's the one where, like, I don't know if you all had it, but like from like 8th grade to high school, you had to take a constitution test, understand laws and whatnot. Like, so throughout each year, then it goes the same in high school. You go throughout each year and you learn more. And then at the end of that year, you put it all to the test, literally, and then see where you go next. Like, so, I always felt like I was just like moving. I was like, oh, so I guess I got the information that was needed, So it takes those like level changes for you to get to certain points. And that's what it's all about. You get to experience those points. You take a bad experience and then you make it something, or you take a good experience and it goes sour. Like, it's how it works. The important thing is to learn that things do happen. And it's all based on perception, perspective, and point of view, PPP, for you to understand that you just grow as you go. Like you can't live backwards. You can only understand forwards, right? You can't like go, oh my gosh, I wish that would happen. Like, you go, oh man, if that actually presents itself again, I'm gonna be, because history repeats itself, right? Trust me. Trust me. If there's a lesson that you need to learn, it's coming back up because you obviously haven't learned it yet. So that's why you still have this sense of uncomfort, this sense of, what was mine this morning? The sense of stagnation. Are you stagnant for me? This morning I felt really like, yesterday, like, it was a day off. So like, normal workout routine, normal setups, get the right things in the body, had some breakfast, nice little mocha frappe. Déjame tomar una frappe de mocha. Like, and I got up this morning and then I felt a little off. I was like, I don't feel as solid as I did yesterday. And then I started to think a little bit. I started to think like, all right, well, what did I eat? Like, what did I do? Like, how did I feel? Who did I talk to? When I started breaking it down, and I started to realize like, oh, it's not the fact that I feel that a lot isn't coming from where I'm going and what I'm doing. It's just me realizing that there is more to be done. That's what it was. It was just like, you gotta look, don't take it easy on yourself, but don't kill yourself either. Like, there is the setup of how you do it. Like, you give yourself the best criticism to enhance performance. You don't just give yourself criticism to doubt who you are. There's a difference, right? You don't go, oh man, you're not strong enough, you can't lift it. You go, oh man, I haven't been doing a proper workout yet to get me strong enough to lift it. Big difference. And the one little shift can transform everything. And that's the important part to pay attention to. We're going to talk about it till the wheel fall off of the mother. You know what I'm saying? Because it only gets better. It doesn't only get better because we're like, oh gosh, please, 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 please. No. It gets better because we were like, no. I don't like how this is going. I need this to be different. I want this to be better. I can't deal with it no more. I'm not going to have it. I can't deal. I'm not going to. Once you get that back behind you, behind your consistent discipline action, your CDA, and then you really start moving, then you get this momentum. And you know what happens with energy and motion. You know what happens. Anything in motion stays in motion. It's like a train, baby. You ain't stopping the train. You can't even stop the train with the emergency brakes. You don't just pull the emergency brakes on the train and go, ah! No, that bitch still go, ah! Because anything in motion is going to continue to stay in motion unless it's interrupted by external force. So if your CDA is backing you, if your consistent discipline action is backing your passion and your drive for why you're doing what you're doing, then yeah, you're not going to stop. Like, there's going to be a day where you're going to feel a little groggy, you're going to feel like a little unmotivated, but that's okay because that's a part of it. Because then guess what? Once you still handle your business and do what you're supposed to do, that day you don't want to, guess what happens the next day? Oh, right on schedule for more greatness because I didn't allow one moment of the week, I didn't allow one moment of the day to stop the momentum that was necessary for me to be my best success, for me to have my everyday success, because every day is a great day. It may rain, it may shine, it may cloud, it may be blue skies. At the end of the day, it's all great. Like, things happen. Don't get me wrong. Don't let me sit here and just act like everything's all peachy and rainbows. Life is real. People are awful. However, due to the fact of the equal and opposite reaction, for all bad, there is good. And if you focus on all good, then bad will happen, but it won't stop the good. That's the whole point of it. So don't let me sit here and make it seem like, oh, but there's wars. Like, trust me, I understand the real world actions. I'm not someone in the first world thought mindset. Like, I understand that there are countries, there are oppression, there is things going on in the world. Nothing can be done if I don't do nothing myself. If I don't do nothing for myself to build myself to a certain level, how can I even bother to even start to try to help? And that's a big try. Like, if you try, you lying. So how can I even start to help? Like, my bottle's empty. So for me to be able to give, me to be able to pour into others, I have to be able to fill up. I have to be able to let that water fall. I have to be able to allow the perspective to understand that things are real in the world and things happen. That if you don't allow it to get in your way, then you won't let it get in your way. If you don't make the excuse, the next time, look, we all do it. So if you're a person and the next time something happens, don't explain it. Don't explain it. Don't explain why the coffee was cold. Don't explain why the traffic was bad. Don't explain why the dog pissed on the carpet. Like, don't explain it. Just say, okay, and then adjust. And I guarantee you that you will feel a little bit better than what the situation caused, right? Next time if you're a person, you get to work late, and your boss is looking at you like, oh, you're late again. What are you late for? You go, no excuses. And then you work on time management. The next time that project doesn't go through, the next time the presentation isn't as sharp as you wanted it to be, don't make no excuses. Don't say you didn't have the bullet points you wanted. Don't say you forgot the notes. You forgot, the venue changed or whatnot. No excuses. Just adjust. Because if you spend all of the time on the excuse, then you have no time for the actual work. You will just sit back in the excuse. You will just sit back and go, it happened because it happened. It happened. And then how is it that something happened to you 5 years ago is still playing such a big part in your life right now? Because you're allowing it, because you haven't adjusted. You use the same excuse. I'm like this. Oh, I'm like that. Oh, I do this. So, I'm never going to be like that. So just stop doing those things and then come and talk to me. Don't do those things that you always do and then see how you feel in 90 days when you don't do those things. Like, it's just the adjustments. It's just that. Don't be scared of it. Don't be worried about it. Like, things happen. So you just adjust when they happen. You step left and you got hit. All right, well, step left and right real quick. You just adjust. You don't go left, get hit like, oh, I got hit. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. No, you go left, hit. All right, hold up. Right, hit. All right, wait a minute. Hold up. Roll. And then don't get hit. Like, that's just all a part of it. That's why like, the martial arts world is so fantastic, right? It's just about the discipline. And that's why, like, I'm learning a little bit more lessons, like, than what I've known, that, like, certain shots, like, can really shut you down. Like, a nice little liver blow will, like, gas you out entirely, and you can't do nothing. As much as you get hit and you go, get hit and try to, you're still in the, because your body just is like, nah, bro, this ain't it for us. Like, so it takes that discipline to know that you gonna get hit to where you like, yeah, that was a good one. But that is not gonna stop you, because that bill hasn't stopped yet, and you ain't knocked out yet. So that means, what we do? It's time to keep fighting. It's time to keep going. Now, don't let me take it in such a literal sense, because, like, the martial arts world is like, not everybody, but take it in the same concept. Take the fact that, like, life is going to hit. It just matters about how strong you are when it hits you. And sometimes it hits you hard. sometimes it hits you so hard, you like, ow, ow, wait, hold up. What's going on? What are we doing? Like that it just throws you off. Like you ever been hit? You ever been like got the wind? Like most people have never had the wind knocked out of them, so I can't use that example. I know a lot of people have never had the wind knocked out, but there's a expression where you're like hit so hard, knock the wind out of you, to where that you got hit so hard, you smack the ground, you hit something hit you to where you just gotta focus on breathing, so that way you feel like you're not about to die. Like, and it's not always that serious, but that's the thing. That's what people's consciousness make them feel like. It makes them feel like they just got hit by a refrigerator, like to where that they can't move, like a semi just ran them right down to where that there's nothing left. Like that's just thought. That's just perspective making you look. That's the fear, right? It happens like this. You're in an environment where you've never done what you've done before. Whole new area for you. You attempt to do it, does not go your way whatsoever. You're so uncomfortable doing it. People are looking at you weird, and you just are like, no, and never do it again. It's the people who go, oh man, really uncomfortable. Hey, I'm uncomfortable, and then power through it. That gets a bigger sense of like, oh, wait a minute, this makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm just not adjusted right. And this makes me feel uncomfortable because I just never been a singer, you know? Like I'll bring up the karaoke example all the time. Anybody who jumps on the karaoke stage is awesome in my eyes. It's like you know, you got the people who get up there who actually can sing. You know, it's like, dang, why are they not famous? You know, they was in choir, they was in church courses and stuff like that. So they just got like vocals out this world. You got the people who just want to have fun. They up there, they know the song they pick, but they have never heard it. They probably never listened to it fully way through the way that they up there singing it. And you got the like quiet ones who actually want to do it, but you know, like they just don't project far enough to where, you know, they can be heard, so they're on stage. So in any one of those characters going up there, it's awesome because it takes a simple sense of you going, all right, there's 18 people, 5 people, 100 people looking at me right now doing something that I do not like to do. This is why I do a lot of karaoke. So when I invite people to karaoke, their first reaction is, oh no, I'm not singing. Like before you'll go karaoke and like as soon as you say karaoke, I'm not singing. Like that's like the next line right after you say the words karaoke. I'm not singing. Like because people don't want to put themselves in uncomfortable positions. People don't want to be in situations and scenarios that they've never been in before. And that's a comfort kill. Like, you know, that's a slow decay, my boy. Like, because you not getting outside, like you don't know, you're not exposed to what can happen. So you're not being exposed. Hitting you one time could damage you a lot more than if it hits you a few times. Like, because if you've never been hit, if you've never been damaged, if you've never been, then when you do get it, it's gonna feel too dramatic. It's gonna feel so dramatic that it'd be like that, it'll kill you. Like, you know, our brains and bodies are different. So your body may get hit, like in a sense, and then your body be fine. But the nerves in your brain and the systems that are wired to pain receptors and whatnot that are linked to your brain and your body go, I've never experienced this before. And then your body gonna shut down. Like, so you got, like, you know, it'd be best to just like understand that it hurts a little bit. I'm not saying go out there and fight Mike Tyson to prove that, you know, you can get hit. I'm saying that go out there and like realize that the world isn't as soft as you think it is. It's cushy right now because there's nothing going on, but it's not as soft as you think it is. So you want to be in your best sense. We're talking a warrior in a garden versus a gardener in a war, right? Kind of scenario. Better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it, kind of deal. You know, you don't need, like, I see it all the time. Like, I grew up watching like The World's Strongest Man and whatnot. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, At the end of the day, I don't need to be the world's strongest man. I just need to be stronger than any scenario that comes my way. I just need to be stronger than any obstacle. I just need to be more advanced in what I can do in any scenario. Like, instead of me, trying to punch down the wall and kick down the wall, I just bring in the bulldozer that like I invested in to come roll this down, pave the way for some new stuff so that way we can get the building. There's ways to do stuff. You don't gotta be so like gun ho about it. It's not like, oh, it's not like, no, it's like, the simplicities work a lot better. Like I'm just saying, like, and these are just some of the things. Like then you test them, then you start to realize like, oh man, this thing makes me feel better. So look, I say this all the time, and it's just like a really funny joke of mine because I don't drink no more myself, and I used to drink like too much. Like we'll just say too much, right? And after like a few months of like not drinking and whatnot, just because I just didn't want to, like I would feel better. So I always say this joke that it's like, oh man, it's just it's something about not poisoning yourself every day that just makes me feel so much better. I just don't know what it is. It's something about me getting to work 10 minutes before I'm supposed to just sets me up for so much success. I just can't figure it's something about me putting vitamin C's and potassiums and vitamin D's in my system regularly that just makes me feel so much more energized. I wonder what it could be. Come on now. Look, that's why I say I'm not no one innocent to this stuff. Like, trust and believe, before this YouTube channel got made, I was somebody making some offers. I was binging because I like my shows build up. I don't like to watch it when the new season come out. I let the new season come out, and then I'll start watching it next year when the newer season's about to come out. So I like to let my shit build up because like you can watch a good season. You can watch a good season of something in a weekend. Gone. Now you wait until next year. So I like to let it build. So before, I found some kind of like structure that I could like really take grasp of and, wield to my advantage. I was someone that was just, letting the days go by. Like I was someone that, yeah, sure, I'm working, I'm making money. Like I pay bills, I'm paying my rent, but what else am I doing? Like what structure, what am I creating? What am I building? And then it was simple conversations like with my boy Jason and the simple conversations with my boy Nick that when I started to talk about these things, there started to become like this relatable aspect of like how I feel in my life. And I started saying it out loud, like, man, like, I feel this way about life, but, I start to do these things and I start to feel better, avocado, bananas, whatnot, and, just feel so much greater. And then people would go, oh man, well, since you feel so much greater, what are you doing that makes you feel so much greater? I'm like, well, I usually just do things like this, I make sure I work out in the morning, get the blood pumping, energized and whatnot. I'm already an active guy, but, I like to be more active. I get here, I'm ready for the action because, we got money to make and we got people to take care of. And through that, I started to realize like, oh snap, wait a minute. I may not be no head scientist of the world. I may not be no Warren Buffett of investment. I am someone who can relate. I am someone who can understand. And then on top of those, I'm someone who can really grasp the perspective and then break it down in every single level. So then with me being able to talk to my people that I got on live now, the people that big shout outs to my people in the chat and big shout outs to all the subscribers who have brought me this far. When I start talking about these things now, I understand why I can talk about them with so much confidence, with so much ability, because they're everyday things. They're everyday scenarios that happen to me that I've just adjusted my thought process around on. I stopped letting the excuses go. I stopped letting the excuses be, oh, because it is, because of that. Like, I'm working a new job now. And the owner, he's, been his restaurant 20 years, been rocking out. I come in, I'm bartending, and I'm shaking, I'm shaking a drink in a shaker, but they usually build in a pint glass and they shake it in a pint glass. For anybody who wants to be a bartender and stuff, you don't shake nothing in a pint glass. Like, you can break the pint glass because of how cold the glass can get while you're shaking it, and it can break it. But it's his restaurant 20 years, so I'm not in the way. Like, Hermano, this is your shit. Like, look, you've been here 20 years. I don't even have a restaurant. So I'm gonna do it your way, brother, because this is your stuff. But in reality, like as I'm shaking it, I'm actually shaking it in his way. Like, I don't know why he even bothered. Like, I was shaking it in his way, but it was because of how I poured it out. I poured it out of the tin and not out of the pint glass. So it made it look like I made the whole drink in the shaker with the actual shaker that's supposed to be, and not the shaker in the glass. So it made it seem like I shook it like I would normally make a drink. But like, I actually made it with the glass and the pint glass and just poured it out of the shaker. And the owner had a problem with that. He was like, hey, look, we make them like this. We do it like that. We do it like that. We do it like that. Versus me sitting there going, like I just told you, like I actually shake it like how they wanted me to. I put it in the pint glass and whatnot. I had it in the shaker when I was shaking it like that. It's just that when he seen me pouring it, he seen me pouring it out of the tin. So it made it seem like I was doing it my own way with the shakers and not the glass and the one shaker. Instead of me going through all of that and going, but I mean, I was actually shaking it. I mean, you just didn't see it. I just simply said, okay. Like, because I'm not about to argue with someone who is simply telling me what to do. Like, they signing my checks. So I'm not about to argue with someone that's signing my checks, letting me know what they want to be done. And I'm also not going to try to fight what I already know is to be true. I already know that I wasn't shaking it like how he think I was for him to even be talking to me right now about it. I'm just going to simply respond with, okay, like, your business, your company, your stuff, you're the boss, like, El Jefe, Lo Tango, I got you. Like, I'm not tripping. And then I could sit there, like, after he walks away, I could say, oh, shaking it in the shaker. I go, no, none of that. Because I already know what's going on. I know how I feel, and I know what happened, and I know what to do. So I'm not about to make the excuse. I'm not about to explain myself over something that can just simply just be okay. Like, you trust and believe. I wasn't even shaking it in the shakers to begin with. You won't see me shaking it like in the shakers already. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not going to explain that because we know what's going on. And people do the opposite. Now you ruin a whole job opportunity because you just feel some kind of way about what's being said versus understanding why it's being said. Everybody thinks that they're listening, but they're just really waiting to respond. But when it comes to actually listening, hey, look, it's your business, your thing. I didn't even really do it out of the shaker, but you're obviously not going to listen to that point of view at this moment, so I won't even bother to even attempt to explain it. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm no ill will, no nothing. Like, you're running a business. You just said you want your business ran this way. Go. You hired me to do a job. I'm doing the job. Your way. I got you. So just take those things, right? Take those moments. Take that structure. Take those inconveniences, and then adjust to it. Law of motion, baby. The third one, law of motion, is stating of the conservation of energy. Can't be destroyed or created, only transformed. So adjust, transform the scenario. Don't be in the mindset, oh, tell me how to do. Like, I'm not one of those people. I'm a forever student. I am not one of those people who learned something and have been doing it for so many years that you can't tell me how to do it. Impossible. That's not nowhere near anywhere in my concept. I've been a bartender for years, and there's still things that I still can learn about a few things. There are things that I don't agree with in how things are done, but like I say, it's not my business. It's not my call. So I'm going to do what I was called to do and what I'm hired to do based off of where I am and how I do it. And I'm going to show that respect to the place that I'm at. Like, if there's something that I'm not doing, as somebody that has been doing this for years, and then I'm questioning on it, I'll simply respond with, oh, Thanks for the information. And then I will continue on. I won't sit there and go, oh, they don't know what they're talking about because I've been doing this for no, nope, nope. Because we got shit to do. Excuse me why I'm off say, we gotta go. Oh, they are we got things to do. So for us to sit back and try to explain why we late, for us to explain why we were doing what we were doing, how we were doing what we were doing, no say. I'm not gonna bother. It ain't coming from me. I won't give that. I won't give that time. I won't give that energy because at the end of the day, there's still so much more we need to do. The time that it takes for me to explain why something is happening, how it happened, and why we all feel some kind of way is the same amount of time I can use to just be doing something more. Like this is what happens. A glass breaks. Everybody looks. And then we go and clean it up. Most people you'll see in the industry where as soon as they hear the glass break, they already got the broom and dustpan in their hand. No need to go inspect how many pieces of dishes broke or how they broke or who was the one that broke them. It's a simple, all right, heard glass break, time to clean it up. Most people will decide to just go, oh my God, what happened? How? I don't know. Instead of just like being like smash, like, oh damn, start cleaning up. Like, just don't be somebody who just sits and wait. Don't be be somebody who takes the action. Like, because trust me, if you want to be taken care of, you're gonna be taken care of. The world will take care of you. You won't enjoy how they're taking care of you though, and then you're gonna be asking the questions of why. Oh, I'm like, no, because you decided to. Take the initiative. Don't make the excuse on why it broke. Just clean it up. Just do it. Like, this ain't Nike, bro. Just do it. It's like handle your business. Like, go handle it. Like, that's what I say. Handle your business. No excuses. Just adjustments. Nothing crazy. It didn't go your way, adjust. It went your way, adjust. You feel some kind of way, adjust. It went perfectly fine, adjust. Because there's always something that can be improved. There's always a little tweak. This is why the advancement of our world is growing exponentially. I'm talking about the way, look at China. China not playing. China is not messing around. They got the largest tourism count in the world. Like, when it comes to the people and the money that they make off of it, they rocking and rolling because they're just advancing. They're just doing it. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're doing stuff too. I'm not one of those people either. I'm not like USA. I'm not one of those. I'm just in admiration of what's going on in the world. I understand that countries are pulling minerals. I understand that the business is changing, the dollar amount, like all of these things are happening. So like, it's just important to pay attention to them. Like, if you understand what's going on and how it's going on, then you don't make the excuse. You don't have great grandkids and explain why the family business is going under and whatnot. You don't have kids and explain to them why they can't go and to the swimming pool or Disneyland or whatnot. No, you don't do that as a person. Like, leave it for other people. Like, don't you be one to do it. Let your people know, like, hey, no, we handling business and we do this. And if we didn't do this just yet, then that means it's still on the list. But we handle ours. We do what we're supposed to do to get to where we're going. And that's just all it is. No excuses. Don't bother. Because no one really cares. That's the thing about an excuse. I learned this from multiple bosses that no one really cares. And I think this is really big in the military as well. Man, no one cares. And in the military, right? This is the thing. This is something that I do know about the military. But in the military, one person just doesn't get punished. Everybody gets punished because everybody's held accountable. It's a unit. It's a team. So if one person got to drop and do 50, then guess what? The whole platoon got to drop and do 50. So guess what? It's up to the person It's up to the persons, it's up to the people to hold each other accountable for what needs to happen. It's the same thing that in your everyday, you hold yourself accountable for what you're doing. You don't make the excuse of, well, it was him that did it, because if we were in the military, then we'd all be still punished for what they did. Like, so you gotta just like, no excuses. Do the same thing in your life. Act as if when you make a decision, you're impacting everyone around you. Because in a little, I'm not gonna say like major, but in like slight reality, you are. Every decision you make has a ripple effect, an impact on what it does further down the road. That's why they say, don't burn your bridges. You never know when you got to cross them again. Like, you don't do bad business. Like, like, of course emotions happen and people and misunderstandings are conducted. But at the end of the day, you don't just ruin stuff simply because you feel some kind of way about how it went. You adjust and you say, that was a really rickety bridge. I don't think I want to be crossing that. You don't say, oh, that's a really rickety bridge. Let me just tear it down. Like, no, I mean, like, leave things better than how you found it. Put a sign there, like, warning, like, this bridge is not, I barely made it across this moment. Like, like, it's just these little things. It's just these little things, right? And the only reason why they seem so hard, right? The only reason why they seem so impossible to do is because people are approaching it the wrong way. That's the point. That's the whole point around this. You don't approach a situation scared of it, not aware of it, not realizing what you do. Like, I see it all the time. You don't just, if you go on a road trip, you don't just get in your car and go. You GPS, pack toiletries, pack extra clothes, how long you gonna be there, when you gonna get there, like what you gonna eat on the way there, how much gas you gonna need, like, all of these things are considered. So treat your life like a giant road trip. Like, you about to go somewhere, you about to go to work, you about to go do something, like, get all the best tools, get all the best things, get all the best things in your system, best energy, whatnot. And then, you go out and you attack the day, and you attack the work, and you do this every day. And what makes it so hard is the fact that you just have to do it every day, right? Like, I'm not like, trust and believe, no one's 100% 24/7, 365 days. However, you can always implement something every day. You can always implement. Like, if you didn't do 20, then at least do 10. If you tore your muscles that much and you like in recovery, if you ain't doing 10, then do 5. And if you ain't doing 5, do 1. Don't let your body forget what it feels like to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Don't let your system forget that there's more that you can do. Like, no excuses on it. If you miss a workout, it's because the rain, it's because of work, it's because of the... No, don't make excuses. Don't give yourself the time. Just tell yourself, oh, damn, I didn't make the workout. Let me double up. Let me get on it. Let me do it right now. You can do anything at any time. It's just about, you can work out anywhere. You can do squats at the grocery store. You can do lunges in the park. You can do push-ups at work. You can do pull-ups on just about any beam in the world. Like, you find a solid beam, you can do some pull-ups. Like, you can do it anywhere. It's just about where you are and how you feel that makes you not do it. Like, don't be scared. Like, no excuses. Just adjust. Adjust to the fear. Adjust to the situation. Adjust to the scenario. Adjust to the energy. Because then if you can do that, then it teaches you about who you are and how you're able to control yourself. Because the only thing you can control is your actions and reactions. That's about it. I mean, you can control how much water you put in your body. You can control what you eat. So you don't let me say it like you ain't got nothing that you can control. You can control a hell of a lot. I'm saying don't be focused on all the things that you can't control. If that person is doing something over there, then let that person do what they doing over there. If you can't do nothing about it, then let it be. If you can do something about it, be careful. But don't always just put yourself in scenarios. This is why you gotta pay attention. If you ain't no one who ain't never did it, if you ain't never lifted a weight, then you ain't gonna be able to lift the car. And I say that in the sense of like, if you want to like be a hero, you know, you want to like, if you see somebody trying under a car or something, you try to go, you lift the car, you're not gonna get it because you don't lift weights regularly. Like, I'm just saying in that sense, like, you know, just better to have it than not need it. Get strong, get smart, be intelligent, be ready, because it's gonna be through that one moment. It goes, and you go, ow, damn it, it hurt. Versus it hitting you, you're like, oh yeah, why? But my, is it? No, some motherfucking grit, man. Damn you, bitch. With that being said, that is our Sunday. I'm jumping in. That is our Saturday live. We're here every Saturday at noon. You see, I was on time today. I was on time last week too. I'm playing. Let me not stay like that because like then I'm not gonna be on time. But you know, no excuses, right? You know, I said that last time. Like I was like on the live like 2 or 3 minutes after 12 and whatnot, and I was just like I was doing something, but like there was no excuses. To watch y'all be on time, like and then, you know, like I was snacking like right before the live and came on the live at 12. Just finishing up, you know, no excuses. All right. Outside of that. Saturdays at noon, we just talk about it because at the end of the day, it's best to just keep it on your mental. You just gotta keep it on your mental, yeah? Like, to where that you can allow yourself to do a lot more with what you got, because you can always do more because you can always be more. But you will only have what you got because of who you are. So all you gotta do is just get more. And then when you get more, you become a little bit more. When you still remember why. Remember those levels. Remember, you know, you was here and then you're here. And then before you get here, remember why you were here and why you got there and what pushed you from getting here to where that you don't forget when you get there. Because if you allow yourself to forget when you get there, then you're going to go, whoop, and you're going to go further because then you're going to be lost. You got to keep yourself calm. You got to keep it cool. You gotta just be you. So, with that being said, es una gran vida, solo mejora, es solo el comienzo. Because I tell you, it only gets better from here. Why? Like, how do you know that? Because we only get better. We only do the things that allow us to get better. If I didn't do 5 push-ups today, then I did 3 push-ups. If I didn't do 3, I did 1. If I didn't do 1, then I held planks. But no excuses on why it wasn't done. With that being said, I will see you all next Saturday at noon to have more fun. Big shout outs to my people in the chat. Man, I appreciate everybody who came on. Look, y'all, only gets better from here. We doing our thing. We rocking out. I see you on the flip. Stay up, y'all.